Hello, are we ready to get our Advent Christmas season started?
Yes.
with some Christmas carols. So everybody up if you're inclined and able, and let's do it. It's a lot of words, but you can do it. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10, glistening once again, with candy canes and silver lanes aglow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, toys in every store. But the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots are the wishes of Barney and Ben. Dolls that will talk and will go for a walk are the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well, the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that will sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that will make them ring is the carol that will sing right within your heart. Did it. Go. Sing we now of Christmas, Noel sing we here. Hear our grateful praises to the babe so dear. Sing we Noel, the Christ is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. Angels call to shepherds, leave your flocks at rest. Journey forth to Bethlehem, find the lambkin blessed. Sing we Noel, the Christ is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. From the eastern country came the kings afar, bearing gifts to Bethlehem, guided by a star. Sing we Noel, the Christ is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. Gold and myrrh they took there, gifts of greatest price. There was ne'er a place on earth so like paradise. Sing we Noel, the Christ is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel. In Bethlehem they found them, Joseph and Mary mild, seated by the manger, watching the Holy Child. Sing we Noel, the Christ is born Noel. Sing we now of Christmas, sing we now Noel.
Please take a seat. My turn to greet you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Good to welcome each and every one of you. And, well, let's get this over with. Full disclosure. I will share that I just came like this morning, and somebody gifted me with this tie, and it's somebody that is near and dear to me, so there was no way I could not wear it, and I want to honor it. But generally speaking, and this includes those of you that are tuned in on our YouTube channel, the last time I dressed similar to this was because I had lost a bet, okay? But it is the Christmas season, and I want to welcome everybody officially, and again, for those of you that are tuned in on our YouTube channel, we are so glad to have all of you with us, whether your energy is being contributed by your presence here this morning, or whether it's being contributed throughout the ethers as you watch on our YouTube channel. And I want to ask, do we have any first-time visitors with us this morning? Anybody here for the first time? We have a lady here. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. You honor us with your presence. If you have any question, please contact virtually anybody in the congregation, and I certainly will be available to you if you have any questions to ask of me. Let me also take a moment to remind you to please silence your cell phones so that we can go through the service without any interruptions. And with that, I want to invite one of our prayer chaplains, Marie, to please come forth. She's going to light one of the candles on our Advent wreath and then share today's daily word reading.
I lit the candle, the first Advent candle, as a symbol of my faith, of our faith, and the faith of all our spiritual family here and wherever they all are. We launch this Christmas season anxious to birth the Christ within. And Merry Christmas, everyone. Today's daily words are hope and faith. And as I speak these words, please let them come from your heart. My hope leads me to deepen in faith. As Advent season begins, I feel a quickening, a renewal deep within me as I embark upon the spiritual journey leading to Christmas. Over the year, I may have hoped for lasting peace, greater love, or abiding joy. But as I have grown spiritually, I have learned to look for those things within, to claim them as aspects of my divine identity. Once I do that, I will begin to see them manifest in my life. Faith is how I begin to bring my hopes to life. Like my other divine gifts, I always have faith. It's up to me to decide how to use it. When I choose to believe that peace will blanket the earth, love will heal our hearts, and joy will bring harmony to the world's people, I am using the power of my faith to bring those visions to vivid life. And from John chapter 1, verse 5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. So blessings on this first day of Advent.
Thank you, Marie. And now I invite all of you to please join in with me in praying our Spirit's unfolding vision prayer. Guided by divine wisdom, inspired by divine imagination, centered in divine love, and knowing that God is our source, we boldly move forth in faith as we allow Spirit's expanding vision to unfold in our lives, the life of the spiritual community, and our world. Thank you, God. Amen.
Reverend Mike, may I interrupt the flow for just a second? Do you want to do our birthday song?
Oh my gosh, I forgot it again. Before we go into the Lord's Prayer, yes, today is birthday Sunday. Anybody celebrating a birthday in December, please now come forward. Thank you.
Yeah.
You too, Rose?
Get up there. Oh, you don't have to play your own birthday song, do you? Okay, all right.
Happy birthday to
you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, you're wonderful. Happy birthday to you. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you, you're wonderful. God is blessing you now.
I apologize if I kind of disrupted the flow, but it's all good. So now, if you are ready, willing, and able, please return to your feet and join in singing and praying the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory
Please be seated. Now it's a joyful time in the service in which we get to bless our children. Would our children and their sponsors please come forth? All right, let's do it. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you, and know that you are empowered to do great things.
2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Let's do that again. 1, 2, ready, go. There we go. Oh, come, little children, oh, come, one and all. Oh, come to the cradle in Bethlehem's stall, and see what Listen, look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You'll feel part of every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. And on a clear day, on a clear day, you can see forever and you'll feel part of every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. And on that clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and ever and ever and
Thank you, Kitty. Very, very, very much. Kitty knew that I really wanted that song today, and you did it beautifully. As one of my neighbors would say about you, you probably have fallen off of the top of a Christmas tree. So I also want to take a moment to thank everybody who decorated our little church here yesterday morning. Gratefully, there are way too many people to name, which is a blessing. But they really worked hard in a really cool, spirited atmosphere that was shared by everybody that was present. So we truly are grateful. So a quick short story that's kind of on topic today is that a guy off the street walks into an optometrist office, and he said, "I need to see the optometrist. I'm seeing spots before my eyes." And the receptionist greets him and says, "Well, tell me, have you seen a doctor?" And he said, "No, just spots." Anyway, here we are, the first Sunday of Advent. It's official. We are now in the Christmas season. And so it's appropriate that we have done our work and we have decorated it and we have beautified the church in anticipation of a really tremendous miracle, the birth of the Christ. And we celebrate what happened some 2,000 years ago, but really what we're doing is, in the season of Advent, and Advent means coming, and we have an expectation of what is yet to come, and that's the realization of the birth of the Christ within us. And so our topic today is on a clear day, and I want to kind of explain how I got there to choose this topic with an old story this is a true story. Many years ago, my family, we were driving back from Hilton Head Island where we had vacationed, and we made a decision the day before to drive through the entire night and not stop anywhere. And at one point, I was asleep in the passenger side, and my wife Phyllis was driving, and she woke me up, and she was frightened because we had driven right into the midst of a really thick fog. And the visibility, I'm telling you, it was thick enough that I would not be able to see from where I'm standing to the back door of the church. We could not make out the lane markers or anything else. And we were really terrified, did not know what to do. We put the flasher on for the emergency flasher so that people behind us might see us. And a common sense thing would have been to pull over, however, where there might have been an exit. And if we had just pulled over, we would have run the risk, very likely risk, of somebody plowing into us from behind. And there were, I don't know what magic they had going from them, but it didn't seem to bother, the drivers of semi-trucks all that much, because occasionally one would pass us by. And I told Phyllis, I said, tailgate the truck. We could at least see those red lights. We just got to trust, that it will work out. And we actually tried that for a while, and then that just got frightening. It was truly a harrowing experience. But we somehow managed to reach a point where all of a sudden the visibility got better, and we were able to actually find an exit and pull off. And Phyllis did. She was a sponge, okay, because there was no turning over the wheel to me. It was all on her. But she did a remarkable job. She got us through it. We had breakfast, and we were able to make it home. And I tell this story as a lead-in because, what we're really going to be talking about today is faith and a little tiny bit of hope, maybe, and trying to determine what it all means. So faith is a power. Faith is a gift. Faith is kind of like a muscle, and it shares with the phenomenon of muscles that if you don't use it, you lose it. Okay? And faith has an awful lot to do with believing, but it goes well beyond just believing. And I will offer to you Unity's official, if they didn't change it by now, definition of what faith is. And Unity, according to Unity, faith is the ability to perceive God's kingdom and divine ideas regardless of the situation or the circumstances involved. And then there's a whole second part to it. And then to use that to mold and shape substance. Well, that's a whole lot of words. So what exactly does it mean? And I just want to pick an example from the scriptures, and I want to talk just a little bit about Mary, who was called upon to bring the Messiah into the world physically. And you have to understand the circumstances in which this took place. She was a young Jewish girl, maybe as young as 12 years old, probably not much older than 14 anyway, completely mired in Jewish tradition, and she was betrothed. And she has a vision of an angel appearing to her and saying, "You have been chosen to give birth to the long-awaited Messiah." So those were circumstances that would not be easy to overcome in making this happen, in making this actually happen. And now I want to tell you a longer story that I really think captures a whole lot of the essence of this faith thing that we're talking about. And again, I'll turn back to the Hebrew scriptures and a story that I found in the book of Samuel, the first book of Samuel. And in this book, there's a story that's a war story, and it's about a battle, once again, between the Philistines and the Hebrews. It's really a good story. I think it would make a great movie. But in the story, the Philistines, again, represent that part within us that is resistant to change. That part within us that serves to scare us, to frighten us out of doing what we are called to do, scare us away from becoming what we are called to become. And the Hebrews or the Israelites represent metaphysically that part of us that is always aspiring to a higher level of consciousness, a greater awareness, a stronger sense of communion with our own inner spirituality. And so in that chapter in which I'm picking this up, the Hebrews are having a bad time of it. The Philistines, again, have the upper hand, and they're not nice about it. They're really as haughty as they could possibly do, doing things they could do to intimidate the Hebrews. And they're calling them names, and they're calling them out. Come out from behind those rocks so that we can kill you and slaughter you and make it easy for you. And the Hebrews were afraid. The king at that time was King Saul. And King Saul was kind of hiding out on a small camp away from the action, separating himself from the action, hiding under a pomegranate tree. King Saul. The king represents our heads because the king was supposed to be the leader, the head of things. And that's where most of these battles takes place. That's where most of the fears take place, within our own heads. Because we think and we project, a lot of it based on experience, all of the things that could go wrong if we really try to move forward, if we really make an attempt to grow. So Saul was really not being a good leader. He was abdicating his authority, so to speak. But King Saul had a son whose name was Jonathan. It was the oldest of his sons. And Jonathan is listening to all of this taunting and all of this trash talking that's going on. And he decides, I have had enough of it. And by the way, when you feel that you have had enough of a bad situation, that's a call. That is often what triggers a response on our part at long last. I'm not going to take it anymore. And he gathers up his companion, who is technically his armor bearer, and he said, I want to invite you to come along with me. Where are we going? We're going to go to the passage that we have to go to in order to gain access to the Philistines' stronghold. So, two things. If we, in faith, see what is ours to do and then actually decide to act upon it, the real turmoil begins as we first approach that passage. That, those first steps where we have to go through something. And it's not by accident in the scriptures. On one side of the passage, it was a slippery slope, and on the other side, it was all filled with thorns. Because we can expect this if we're going to step out to try to step up. It's not going to be easy. And the second thing I'm going to talk about, he goes to his companion, and he tells him what he has in mind. And he tells the companion kind of like, do you have my back? because you could opt out. And the companion says, in effect, whatever you decide, it is my decision as well. This is kind of almost like a sidebar, but it is really important. If you are ever thinking about making a bold move in your life or making a significant change in what you're doing, please know that you are not alone. And you shouldn't keep it to yourself. If you have meaningful, loving relationships in any way, shape, or form, share that. Share that. It's really, really important, okay? You know, Batman had Robin, and the Lone Ranger had Tonto. Okay. I never really knew what Kimosabi meant, okay? I never got a translation, but I could always got the feeling when I was watching the Lone Ranger that it was a warm, strong indication of respect and honor. Okay, there are a lot of Tontos in this church, okay? And we have formalized it in terms of a very special ministry, the prayer chaplains, who are always there for you. And even people that are not part of that specific ministry, God, I love this church because so much that's what people at Unity of Fox Valley do and what Unity of Fox Valley is all about. You are not alone. And if you're in a period where you're contemplating a significant growth part of your life, you should not be reluctant to reach out. So, Jonathan goes on to express the rest of the plan. What are you going to do when we get to the passage? And Jonathan says something really stupid. I mean, it sounds just incredibly, incredibly stupid. He says, when we get there, I'm going to stand up and we're going to let the Philistines see us. And there's a really significant line in the scripture. You know, I keep pointing out that, you know, a seemingly insignificant word, you know, is just so powerful. And Jonathan says, and perhaps the Lord will help us. Perhaps? Really? Perhaps? Okay. You know, you want us to go there, stand up and say, ta-da, we're here. And perhaps the Lord will help us. See, don't get misled because it's significant. And it just shows the awesomeness of faith. It doesn't weaken the concept of faith. But when you see beyond, you know, what can't be seen, and you then decide to act on it, to be faithful to the faith that you have discovered, there's a perhaps. Because there's no guarantee that it's going to play out exactly the way you thought it was going to play out. And there's no sugarcoating here. There's no sugarcoating here. But the significance of Jonathan's statement, we're going to stand up and let them see us. Metaphysically, it represents that the real battle for us is deciding to show up. The real battle for us is deciding to stand up. And the ultimate consequences may be painful, may be difficult, may not have caused you to avoid something that you so desperately were trying to extricate yourself from. And I know it sounds crazy, but it doesn't matter. Because if you make that decision, if you decide to show up, you will never be the same. You will be, my tie got crooked, or you will be magnificently changed. You will have a different awareness, a different consciousness. You know, let me finish with the rest of the story. So they stand up, and Jonathan also makes the observation that if they call us up, we will be victorious. If they come down here, not so sure. And there's a significance to that because whenever there is something in the scriptures which is about elevation, you know, there's the realization of a higher, greater, deeper knowing. And in the story has a happy ending because they are called up and they go up and Jonathan does battle along with his arm bearer, and they send the Philistines off. They rout him away. But I want to double back on something. I want to go double back to King Saul, who the whole time this is going on is tucked away behind a rock someplace. And he had along with him his high priest. And I'm going to teach you a new word today if you've never heard it before. The word is ephod, E-P-H-O-D. And an ephod was an article of clothing, a sleeveless garment, kind of like an apron that you might use if you're cooking Sunday dinner. And also part of it was a breastplate. And on the breastplate in the front there were 12 stones, one stone representing each of the 12 tribes of Israel. And on the back side of the breastplate there were 2 other stones. There was an awful lot of ritual and rigmarole involved in the breastplate and all this kind of stuff. But just to focus on those 2 stones on the back side of the breastplate, because those were to serve and act as kind of an oracle, to give the high priest the information in terms of what they might expect if they embark upon any kind of an action. And so they would, in effect, offer up a prayer, asking for a response. And if one of the stones glowed, the answer would be yes. And if the other stone glowed, the answer would be no. And I think pretty much that if neither stone glowed, you're on your own. It was a big perhaps. Why am I sharing all of this with you? Because in the midst of their fears, while they're hiding out, feeling the oppression of the Philistines, they had at their disposal some sort of a method or process to try to find out, ask the question, what is going to happen if we crawl out from under our rocks here and do battle? They were so overwhelmed with fear, they didn't even think at something that they had at their disposal, that they had the wherewithal to arrive at a knowing. It doesn't make any difference how deeply mired you might be in problems or issues and wonder and fears. You have the wherewithal of arriving at a knowing. You don't need a Ouija board, and you don't need some sort of external magical mechanism to give you an answer, because you have at your disposal 100% of the time, regardless of the circumstances, the power of prayer. And it's really okay to pray and say, Lord God, Mother, Father, whatever is the ground of your being, I don't know what to do, and I'm really scared. And let me just sit in your presence, and maybe an answer will come to me. You always, always, always have the means to do something about whatever it is that is terrifying you. I want to go back to the title, On a Clear Day, because what I just said leads right up to that. We can't control the weather. Today it's kind of an icky, cloudy day. You know, that's a meteorological event, and we can't control that. But we do have within us the power of faith. We do have within us the ability to see on a clear day spiritually. Because no circumstances, no happenings throughout the world, no mess-ups in our job or mess-ups in our relationship or whatever can ever interfere with you getting in touch with the inner Christ that we're going to absolutely birth this holiday season and get a clearer picture of what's involved. And that includes the whole thing, including the tough part, where you have to eventually approach that passageway. And it's a funny thing about fear, because whether you do or you don't, you're going to be darned. If you have a bad situation in your life, whatever it might be, and you do nothing about it, you will always be living in fear of whatever it is that is holding you down and keeping you oppressed. You will always not feel about yourself the way that you should be feeling about yourself if you don't do anything. And if you decide that enough is enough and shut out the Philistines in your life and decide to move forward and do something about it, you have the fear of the turmoil that you are going to endure, because people that you regard as friends and acquaintances or whatever, they are going to start to look at you a little bit as, askance if you, wait, what are you doing? You're not the person I know. That's a mild version. The amped up version is, what the hell are you doing? The difference in the latter, as opposed to the former, with the former, if you stay put, you're locked in that indefinitely. If you decide to do something, you're going to deal with a fear that could absolutely be overcome. And again, it all starts with, I'm here. I'm hearing music. Did I say something that was, on a clear day? Absolutely every day is a clear day if you decide to do what you are called to do. And it's in our faith when we do that, and because there is always some uncertainty involved, you have to understand something. We gain wisdom through our experiences. But our experiences are not particularly necessarily friends of our faith, because those same experiences might make us hesitant to see all that there is for us to see. But on a clear day, you truly could rise and look around you and see so very, very, very far. I thought I had one more point, but I don't. It's really kind of remarkable because I just share this with you as a post-talk thought. I've always been intimidated and worried about making a good impression and hoping that people like me and all that. I don't think that makes me unique. But like blowing the birthday thing this morning, it didn't cause me to get a red-faced feeling of embarrassment because I really feel so much at home, with all of you. And I really, really, really want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you as we move into this Christmas season for the gift of acceptance and welcoming and comfort that you have given to me personally. And I know that that doesn't make me unique, that you share it with one another as well. And that's the bright star that I will be following through this Advent season, in order to arrive at that time and that special place in which we really, truly let loose and just birth it all because we have the wherewithal within us. And it really does start, in that place of insisting upon being, on a clear day. And let's not use an ephod, and let's not use a Ouija board. Let's now go into prayer and meditation where the real answers come to us. I invite all of you now to join with me. We move into a period of meditation. Do whatever you need to do to just relax, to sit back, to breathe and feel the rhythm of your breath and really understand that you are in a very, very safe place. A place that is so safe that you can share or bring forth whatever it is that is going on with you, whatever it is that, whoever it is that you are. And knowing that we are in that safe place, we move into building it into a sacred place we move into that place where we send out the invitation and really mean it. Oh, come, Emmanuel. Emmanuel meaning God with us. Truly, those are daring, bold words. But we hold it. We believe it. And in our experience of meditating, we move from believing it to knowing it. I invite you to take another breath and dig a little deeper, go a little deeper. Give yourself over as nearly as you can, letting go of anything and everything that may hold you back. Move into that sacred place. That place where Spirit comes to you, nurtures you, communes with you, reminds you that there is no separation whatsoever between you and the oneness in which you share. Allow the Spirit of Christmas to come upon you. Allow the Spirit of Christmas to quicken that which already is a part of you. And so let us now just spend some conscious time sitting in the reality of that oneness in the silence. And now, having reached out and touched that part of our being which is real, we return to this space. And as you are comfortable, open your eyes, reacquaint yourself, perhaps through a different set of lens. With the space in which you are sitting, with the people that are around you, and maybe with a bit more resolve, a bit more understanding, a bit more of touching upon those realities of peace and joy and love, which are so much a part of you. And loving Spirit, for this opportunity to be together, to share with one another, to offer our energy with one another in order to create an even more powerful synergy, an even more powerful energy that continues to grow this community, that continues to grow and plant seeds of the truth of your being throughout the world. We are so, so grateful. And so we thank you for this and for ever so much more. And so it is. Amen. It's now time for our love offering, our sacrament of giving and receiving. And an appropriate prayer always is thank you. And we are grateful for all that you contribute in dollars and cents. And mostly, we are grateful for the gift of self, which you manifest so beautifully with one another. So please join with me in praying our affirmations. God is my instant, constant, abundant source of supply, and divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all the good that I am, I have, I give, and I receive. Divine love flowing through us blesses and multiplies all the good that we are, we have, we give, and we receive. Thank you, Michael. Two of my favorite Christmas carols, O Come, Emmanuel, and O Come, All Ye Faithful. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's a great start. We have some announcements, and oh, look, right at the top it says Birthday Sunday. We did that already, right? The men's group will be meeting online this Tuesday. Many topics are discussed and studied in this welcoming and supportive group. Guys, if you are not part of this group, if you are curious about the group and what goes on, you are absolutely welcome to join in. You can get the login information by checking with the office. This Friday will be our Healing and Wholeness service. This is a service that's an affirmation of our inner wholeness and good health, and we use the tools of song and prayer. We really hope that you can make it. If you were not able to bring your donations to next year's garage sale today, you can still bring it next Sunday. A list of items we can and cannot accept is on our website. On January 3rd, the Feed My Starving Children program will be coming to Aurora. It's a powerful volunteer program designed to be and do exactly what the title says: attend to children who are hungry and in need of assistance. If you are interested in participating in this, or you would just like more information as to what's involved, please contact Dawn Stasek or stop by the sign-up table to register. On the notice that went out by email, Dawn's email information is there. We have a small handful of license plate frames still available. If you would like one, please stop by the welcome desk to purchase one. There are some people who said they wanted one and have not yet claimed them, and you might want to stop by and check that out. Our fundraiser is still ongoing. We ask and remind you to please be conscious of this and be as generous as you can in this regard. You want something?
I'd like to come up for just a minute. I forgot something after the daily word.
Yes, 1 second, okay, because I just want to give you a brief outline of what you could expect through the rest of this Christmas season here, okay? Next year is our service of remembrance, in which we participate in a way that we pay honor, respect, whatever words you want to use, for those that have passed before us and paved the way for us. The following week is the children's pageant, and I believe that's the 17th. On the Friday before Christmas is our candlelight service, and on Christmas Eve morning, that's a Sunday, we have a very, very different type of service that is planned. I invite you to participate in all of these activities. And Marie, yes, come forward.
I omitted, after the daily word this morning, the invitation to come up and pray after service. I'll be here, and we have other prayer chaplains here. But I want to invite you and encourage you to reach out this season. This is a beautiful, lovely season, but it's bittersweet for many, and prayer really makes a difference. So please, if you're not comfortable coming up to ask for prayer, we have a prayer box. And those that are on YouTube and you are unable to come here and be here after service to pray with us, please, you can reach out to the office and they will contact one of us prayer chaplains to get hold of you. Don't let sadness and sorrow and challenges this season keep you from enjoying the joy that's there for all of us. So thanks for letting me interrupt.
Thank you, Marie. Personally, I never forgot anything. But thank you. That was a very important addition to the announcements. Okay, so with that, it is time for us now to share our congregational blessing. I invite you to stand, turn to the person next to you, or maybe reach across the aisle in doing so, and then remain standing for our prayer of protection and our sing out. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you and know that you are empowered to do great things. In our prayer of protection, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Sing it out.
In a world of darkness, where light has lost its way, and our hearts grow colder with each passing winter's day, beneath the pale is heard.